Hey everybody, hope everybody is doing well. Justin Watches Movies here, and I got a very special guest once again. This is
Adam with Almost Sideways. Thanks for having me again, Justin.
We're here today to talk about the movies that we saw in June and which was the best and the worst and best performances as well. This is the third time we're doing this, and I think it's got better, and I'm having fun doing this.
Exactly.
So there was a lot of movies in June.
Yes.
Finally get into the swing of things where everything's good now and not just crap. So
Exactly.
I saw a lot of things, and there's some new Netflix movies too that I saw. But do you want to talk first about anything that you didn't see that you wish you would have saw?
I was only able to see 9 films this month, and that seems like a lot, but there's some movies I wanted to see a lot, and let's see what we got. I got The Big Sick, which was a very limited release movie I wanted to see. And wide release movies I didn't see was Rough Night, It Comes at Night, Despicable Me 3, and The House. Didn't get a chance to see those yet. I'm looking forward to seeing them. Also, there's a documentary I wanted to see called Score. It's about it's music, composing, and stuff like that. It looks really good. And Megan Lively and The Beguiled are the other ones I wanted to see. I just haven't. There's so much movies this month that you can't see everything. So
it definitely seems like June was packed, especially with that weekend with 4 movies in one. I'm surprised I saw 3 of them that same weekend.
Yeah, me too.
But I didn't see The Beguiled. I know they're playing it nearby. Might check it out next week. Definitely excited to see The Big Sick. I know that has a wider release in July. I could have went in mid-May to see that at a screening, but got lazy. And that Score sounds interesting. I might check that one out. But I did see those 3 Netflix movies and everything else, and so we'll start with the worst performances, best performances, like we normally do, and then we'll save the good for the end. Gotta save it and talk about the bad stuff first.
That's in the video on a high note.
Yeah. So we'll start with the worst performances of the month. This could be a character from an animated movie, just a voice acting, whatever it is. What is your worst performance of the month? Maybe dishonorable mention first.
I got some dishonorable mentions. I think
the list is kind of long.
Yeah, I know, right? I have a couple ones from Transformers. Stanley Tucci was he was not in it long enough to necessarily be the worst. Tony Hale, which was this guy that was just kind of like, I know math and science, I know it. I didn't care for that guy at all. And the butler from Transformers, his name was Jim Carter. Kind of annoyed me.
Okay.
I think that's what it is. Yeah. But then my worst is Jake Johnson from The Mummy. I just feel like I was super excited that he was in the movie because I really like him from New Girl as well as Drinking Buddies. He's really funny. And this one, he just basically was the comedic timing. And he felt like he was in a totally different movie than the actual one they were putting on screen. And I also felt that way a little bit about Russell Crowe. I feel like he was kind of in a different film whenever those 2 characters were on screen. But if I'm talking about my worst, I have to go with Jake Johnson because I feel like he was totally miscast, didn't have really good chemistry with the main one, and just was in a different movie entirely.
So my problem with Jake Johnson in the movie is that they're going for some dramatic moments. Yeah. And he comes in and just does like some weird funny stuff to take away from that. I really liked him in the beginning of the movie before he, spoiler, died. Everything else just was pretty bad. And so it seems like the whole cast of Transformers is
other than one person, really. I'll mention that later.
I didn't realize that was Stanley Tucci until after he played Merlin. Yeah, that was
I have it
weird,
and they recasted him. He was in the 4th one as a totally different guy.
My wife didn't believe me, and I was like, "Yeah, that's Stanley Tucci." And then, Sir Anthony Hopkins, I thought he was gonna be a little serious leader, and then he was just weird and stupid. My worst performances, dishonorable mention. It's sad to me to say that Jake Gyllenhaal, for Okja, he was drunk but not drunk, and really his voice were high squeak, and then it just really served no purpose to his character. I liked the character, but not how he kind of portrayed himself.
Was a little too eccentric for you?
Yeah, just a little over the top. But my worst performance definitely would have to go to that butler from Transformers Last Night. First off, you're really short, and it was obnoxious. If I had to just...
He was like the poor man's C-3PO.
And they made a joke about it too in there. I thought it was pretty funny, but if I had to just describe one word about that character, obnoxious. And so, worst performance of the month.
What's funny is that guy also played the butler in Downton Abbey. Now that I watched the show, this is what I'm looking at his IMDb page too.
Did he?
So yeah, he played the same kind of
playing
character.
butlers.
I guess so. Typecast.
So we'll move on to our best performances. We'll talk about some good acting this month. We have some honorable mentions.
Yeah, I got a long list. I was just going through everything that came out, and just I really enjoyed the performances more than I enjoyed movies this month. I seemed. Let's talk about them. Okay, so I do have a ton, and I know some on your list I'm not going to mention, but I thought All Eyes on Me, Demetrius Shipp did a really good job portraying Tupac, even though the movie didn't portray him correctly. I thought he did a really good job. Also, Cristela Alonso from Cars 3, she played Cruz Ramirez. I really liked that character a lot.
Surprising.
I was like, the trailers didn't even make it believable that she was going to be a main character, but she was, and I really liked that character a lot. Paul Dano from Aksha was really good. Basically everybody from Baby Driver, basically, was really dang awesome. I really enjoyed him. Isabella Moner from Transformers. That was probably the only highlight from that acting role. The young girl. But she wasn't in it. Like, they totally forgot about her halfway through, and then they added her in. So it's like, I can't really say she was the best thing.
Definitely seemed like her character was pointless, but she gave it her all.
She gave a good performance anyway. But my favorite performance was a movie I just saw yesterday, actually, I'm going to butcher her name, I apologize. Se-Hoon An from Aksha. She was the girl in there. Really enjoyed that performance because she's a child actor too, and she basically made you feel the emotions for what was happening to her Aksha, her pet, basically, or her animal that she really cared about, and it was just very good role. I really definitely liked it a lot.
She was very heartwarming. You can definitely feel the relationship between her and her super pig that she was raising. I do admire that relationship, and that's probably my favorite moments of the film is how she cared. It kind of just shined light on that. You don't have to have a dog or a cat. You can have a big super pig as a pet. But
it's all the emotional ties.
Yeah. And I do think that Demetrius Shipp as Tupac, it wasn't his fault. I mean, it was the poor writing and the firing directors and how production hassle it went through.
Yeah.
He looked great as Tupac, and I do think that he did a great job. My best performance, honorable mention, would have to go to Joel Edgerton. I thought he was great in It Comes at Night. The trailers kind of were misleading.
That's right,
It wasn't like what I expected it to be, but I still really enjoyed it, and how he had such care for his family, and he was cautious about a lot of things. It definitely was believable in like the future that like this event could happen, and he just added a lot of humanity to the role, and I thought he did great. But my favorite performance of the month, very surprising, is Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I was really happy with her take on Wonder Woman. Reminded me a lot of Captain America, one of my favorite superheroes, and I just think that she brought a lot to the table. Her action sequences were great, and she trained a lot beforehand, and it really showed. And it's like fun, like watching like Tom Cruise movies where you can believe that he's doing these stunts and these action sequences, and she went all in for a lot of it, and just adds a lot to the movie. It's like authentic, and so I do think that not only did she act really great, her action sequences were top notch as well.
Exactly, and I did write down Gal Gadot and Chris Pine. I thought that movie was great. So
Chris Pine too. He was
agree with that.
Like the relationship they had was funny. It was heartwarming. It was
charming.
Yeah,
it was good.
All right, worst movies. We're here now. This is the point where we question why we do this.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like this month there was a lot of movies that were very divisive. Some people really liked them, some people didn't like them. So if you like the movies that we're about to mention, that's what I feel like people are going to love them or hate them. And
there was a couple of them where like they're just kind of in the middle.
It wasn't like, I don't feel like there was anything that was necessarily like that was the best thing. Well, I think there's a couple movies, 3 movies at least, that are the best, but we'll talk about those in a little bit. But For my worst, I'm gonna go with I have two honorable mentions.
Okay.
Transformers: The Last Night
Mm-hmm.
was
Agree.
yeah, it was pretty bad. Though I still enjoyed it though.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like I don't feel like it's the worst one because I found enjoyment out of this one compared to some of the other ones. All Eyes on Me just kind of came across as a TV movie, and I didn't really have any sympathy or empathy for Tupac when he passed away.
Mm-hmm.
Tragically when he got shot. So it was like the movie portrayed him really in a bad light. I felt, and even though I liked certain aspects from the movie, I just didn't connect with it at all.
Yeah.
But my least favorite film of the month, I actually made a rant video on my channel, so if you head over there and check that out, it's The Mummy. There was so much stuff that they were doing to plug in this dark universe because they're trying to set it up. They're like, oh, we're going to cast this person. We're going to try to go get Angelina. We're going to try to get Dwayne Johnson. We're gonna have Hunchback of Notre Dame. You know, all these Phantom of the Opera, all these different characters, all these plans before they even gave us a good first film. And the first 30 minutes, I enjoyed it. I thought that there's some really cool stuff. Sophia Boutella, which I didn't mention in my best performances, I thought she did a really good job. I really like her as an actress. Thought Tom Cruise was a good, decent enough action star. He's doing his Tom Cruise thing. And, you know, we talked about Jake Johnson. I didn't really like him, so I feel like he was in a different movie. But when they get hit like the 30-minute mark or whatever, it changed his tone completely. And it's like, oh, this is just set up for the Dark Universe in the next film. And they don't even they need to focus and get that main idea. Focus on the Mummy because that was really strong. And everything that all their setup stuff was just took me out of it. And I knew exactly what they're trying to do, and I'm not sure if they were just giving you guys all their casting information because they knew the movie wasn't going to be good. But it's like, hey, don't worry, the movie still might be.
Yeah.
The future's still good because we have all these different people hired. No. Focus on the first film like Iron Man did. He had focused on that one central character, and at the very end, it plugged in something else. That's what they should have done probably. This studios nowadays, I feel.
It seems like another universe that plans way too far in the future.
Yeah,
We've talked about that a little.
Yeah, it's the same kind of feeling how Batman and Superman, once they started setting up the Justice League, it's like, okay, now they've lost focus on what
the actual first movie. I do think that in The Mummy, after they fall off the plane, that's when it kind of changes.
Yeah, definitely.
I do think that like the discovery of the Mummy was probably the best part of the movie, and it was going really well, and that's when I didn't mind Jake Johnson and everything, and then it kind of just shifted there.
For me, I think when they went to Prodigium with Russell Crowe's character, I think that clearly
too much setup.
Clearly is set up. So.
All right, I have one just honorable mention, and I'm sorry, I know you kind of like this movie. I didn't really like 47 Meters Down. It could have been scary. I mean, there was one frightening sequence with the sharks and the flare. I thought was terrific. Other than that, there wasn't really much to offer. I mean, I'm afraid of the ocean and what lies beneath, and it's kind of all dark and everything, but just didn't really capture those moments for me. But, like, there's not really much other stuff that was too bad. I mean, everything was just, it was okay or really good. I mean, maybe You Get Me, the Netflix original movie starring Bella Thorne, was cliche. You didn't like that movie Unforgettable.
Okay.
It's exactly that, but like in high school.
High school version of it.
Bella Thorne. Yeah, and it's pretty much the same exact plot, and they didn't really try to take a new route. It was just kind of mediocre. But my worst film of the year, or month, we'll see actually how it is at the end of the year. But Transformers Last Night, I hated this movie. It just started off really confusing, and it seemed like there was no clear direction in where they wanted to go. They were introducing all these characters, and it was just a jumbled mess. I didn't really care for the story, the characters. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, and also if you rewatch that movie, you'll notice, I was noticing that when I saw it, the aspect ratio keeps changing. Oh my God. That annoyed me.
Like the first 10 minutes, it was the IMAX and then standard format. IMAX standard, just going back and forth. And some movies do it really well. Like I remember seeing The Dark Knight Rises, and they did it perfectly, and you could really feel the big aspect of the movie. This one is just back and forth. But those are the worst movies. those are done. Moving on to
Yes,
some
thank
good
you,
stuff. What is your best movie of the month? And there were some good ones.
Yeah, like I feel like this movie or these films are. There's some pretty good, decent movies. Movies I enjoyed, got more out of it than I thought. 47 Meters Down will be an honorable mention. I wasn't expecting anything going into this film, and I hate sharks, but I actually walked out scared, and I enjoyed it. I had fun with the movie. It's not great. There's some character moments that are just, they're not great, but I just enjoyed what they were doing, and I felt claustrophobic in the movie, and I enjoyed it. Cars 3 was one I was not expecting to be good. I didn't really like the other Cars films, but this one actually is my favorite one, and it's kind of middle of the pack for Pixar films for me. I really enjoyed it a lot. But the 3 films I definitely need to talk about, I know you're going to talk about one.
Mm-hmm.
These are the best movies of the month, and probably could argue you can probably say the best of the year, and they're going to be mentioned down in people's top 10 lists, I think. One of is the next Netflix film, Aksha. That's a really good movie that has some good points about the food industry and GMOs. Definitely check that out on Netflix. It's streaming now. Yeah, it's a tough watch, but if you enjoy that film and like the message, go check out the documentary called Earthlings. It's a documentary about the same kind of topic, but just goes in a lot more detail, and that's a tough watch. Also, I know you're going to take this one, but I'm going to mention it. Wonder Woman is a really awesome film, one of the best DECU films, and probably a really good superhero film as well. But my number one is Baby Driver, the Edgar Wright film. Really had a lot of fun with it. Going into the film, the first scene was pivotal for me. I just was like, okay, what's going to happen? And right when he does what he does, and just like I had a smile on my face for the rest of the film. So really just had a fun time. That's sometimes what you go in the movie to have. It's just a fun time, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I can't say anything negative about it. Maybe I wanted some more character development from Deborah, played by Lily James, but that's just really a nitpick. I really enjoyed the cast and just the action they were able to accomplish, and the soundtrack was amazing. Just had a lot of fun with the film.
They set the tone very early on, and they stuck with it, and that's why I think it made it so successful. I saw it about a month ago, and I'm going to check it out again in theaters, and I just remember, like you said, just having a smile on your face, like, the energy level is super high, and it wasn't, like, focused on being just a straight action film. He focused on characters and development and a story and making it stylish. That's what Edgar Wright does so well, is he knows how to balance these things. I feel like someone could learn from Edgar Wright's take on some movies, Michael Bay, but he balanced so many things in this movie, and it works so well for it. And I do think that everybody did really well. And I was really surprised by Jamie Foxx. Didn't know what to expect from him. I really ended up liking his character.
Yeah, I don't think you were supposed to. I enjoyed not liking his character.
Well, you're not supposed to like him, but I liked, I guess, his take.
Yeah.
So.
But I love what they were supposed to do. Like, oh, Jamie Foxx is the main bad guy, and then something happens, and it's like, okay, there's going to be several bad guys in this thing. So it's like, oh, that's pretty awesome what they were able to do. So, what was your best?
There was a couple good ones. I really liked, surprisingly, Captain Underpants.
Oh, yeah.
I went to see it, and it reminded me a lot of the book as a kid, and it was just overall, it was a really fun movie. I did like Baby Driver, not my best movie of the month, but it was very stylish. I was really surprised with Cars 3 as well, and I really liked Shimmer Lake. It was a surprising movie, very short, straight to the point, but I like how it was told. But my favorite movie of the month definitely would have to go to Wonder Woman. I do think that it was all around a great movie, a lot of focus just on Wonder Woman, not setting up the Justice League like Batman v Superman. But I was really happy with it and surprised, and I'm excited to see how the DCEU ends up with Justice League later this year, and then movies that come up next year.
Yeah, absolutely. I like the relationship between Wonder Woman and Steve Trevor. I thought that was really cute and adorable. I also liked the fact that Wonder Woman was actually inspirational and inspiring. That one scene where it was all slow motion, and she was coming up out of the trenches, and you can just see the people on the looks on their faces, how inspired they were about this woman. And
I got chills watching that.
It's awesome because that's what Superman's supposed to be, but so far in this universe he hasn't been. So I'm glad at least somebody's inspiring
Mhm.
other people, and Wonder Woman is obviously inspiring not just people in the movie, but people outside the theater-going audience, from little kids wanting to have Wonder Woman birthday parties to
Mhm.
guys like us. We really like the movie a lot, and just like other just people in general. They obviously keep going back to the theater to watch this film. If you haven't already, what's wrong with you? Go see this film.
She stands for hope, and they play a lot on that theme, and it just works so well.
Definitely looking forward to her growth, and hopefully they could carry that what she's about into Justice League.
It doesn't feel like a different character.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't want I'm still cautious about Justice League because that's going to be a lot of different people involved, but I'm really excited to see Wonder Woman and Aquaman in that. That's why I'm really excited to go see it. But I'm looking forward to Justice League. This one just gives me a little more hope for DC, for sure.
Hope. There you go.
Exactly.
She gives us hope. So there you guys have the best and worst performances and movies for the month of June. I think it was an overall pretty fun month. I'm just thinking that it might be interesting to do like ranking the best months at the end of the year. Like at the end of the year. So it's kind of
challenge accepted.
That'd be interesting to do. I'm pretty sure like January or something would be the worst. April wasn't too good either.
Yeah. We'll see. It'll be fun though to look over.
There's a lot of good movies to look forward to next month, and we've already saw one of it. That's Atomic Blonde. Go over to his channel. Link will be down below for that video. We kind of had different thoughts on it, but overall I think it was a pretty fun movie.
It's a fun movie. I definitely enjoyed it.
I'm looking forward to Girls Trip and the Emoji Movie.
Oh, and if you're going to mention those two, I have to mention Valerian, because that's going to be amazing.
So, I mean, Spider-Man, Dunkirk, they're mediocre to me. So
yeah, other movie. There was War for the Planet of the Apes. I don't know. Yeah. That's not going to be any good.
No time for that.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see Ghost Story if it comes near me. The Big Sick if it gets a wider release.
There's also To the Bone, which is a Netflix movie. Wish Upon might be an interesting horror movie. Hopefully, it's be a good one. Who knows? The trailer's not giving me any hope for that.
Yeah.
But that's. I think we mentioned every movie. Oh yeah, Brigsby Bear is a kind of a limited movie. I don't know too much about it, but I know that Silver Screen Analysis, Anthony over there, he talked really high of the movie. It kind of got me excited for going to see something a little different and unique. So Brigsby Bear, remember that movie.
I'll have to check into that. I haven't heard of it, so
yeah,
kind of interesting. So thank you guys for watching. As always, if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, comment down below, share the video. Definitely go over to Adam's channel. Yeah. He's growing, so subscribe now before he hits like 1 million subscribers. And
that's the hope anyway.
Get to his channel right now. I've been noticing that your channels are growing a lot more.
Yeah,
it will just take off, bud.
Yeah, I know. I just hit 100 like 2 weeks ago. I'm already over 150,
and
I'm just like, wow. I'm definitely trying every day to make a bit more and more content, and that it's better, and I'm noticing that, and I really do appreciate every single one of you guys come over and check it out, and would love to have you guys come over.
The hard work will pay off.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be doing a rankings for Christopher Nolan and different other rankings like Spider-Man and stuff, and looking forward to be talking about these movies and being back on your channel next month too.
So go over to his channel, subscribe. The link will be down below for that. This is Justin Watches Movies, and you stay classy, YouTube.
And we will see you later.